Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Showman-Fair,
I'm Barb Fecto.
and we are your instructors for LBS 803. Yes, did I get it right?
Yes.
We've been doing this for a number of years now. We teach this course together as a team. I do the first half, which is children's literature from kindergarten to sixth grade. And
I
you,
do the rest. 7 through 12.
so teen stuff. Um, the overall kind of structure of the course is the same. We have our syllabus and rubric there, but then the details are different for each section. So in the first half, oh, actually, the
Oh,
purpose of our
yeah.
course is not for you to do deep dives into every kind of book and every genre that are out there, but rather an overview of what is out in the world that you would be sharing with your students when you are in a school.
Can I interject? And
Yes.
also, it breaks my heart to say this. It's not the stuff that you loved when you were a kid. Yeah, we don't care. We do care. We care deeply, but it's not what we're looking at. We're looking at current stuff. We're looking at things that students are reading today. And there are a few classics here and there, but for what you're looking at, we
Yeah.
want you to be as current as
And
possible.
I'm pretty mean about it, in that I don't want anything from before the year 2000 in my assignments.
25
I
years
know.
ago.
I
It's a
know.
human adult ago.
Your students' parents will have been born in the early 2000s at some point,
Yeah.
maybe.
Mm.
Okay, but so for Children's Lit, the first 6 weeks, we are going to be looking at literature by format. So we do picture books, then transitional books and decodable books, graphic novels, so you prose, informational text, and then poetry. And each week in the module, I will be giving you readings that you need to read because it helps inform what you're doing. An assignment, which is always due on Monday, the following Monday of that week, and then a discussion post. And all three of those things are things that you need to do each week. But you can do them ahead of time for the most part, except for discussions. You really need to participate with your classmates. And then for my section, at the end of that 6 weeks, you are going to have a midterm. I recommend that you look at the assignment for the midterm early on because I'm going to ask you to do a mini audit of a collection, looking at identity and characters and authors so that you understand what the diversity of that collection is. And I'll walk you through it, but don't wait till the very end to do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will regret it if you
Yes.
do. All right. So then after those first 6 weeks, then it's my 6 weeks where we up the age a little bit and we're going to look at books thematically. So we have, let's see, we start with a general overview, Hunting the Elusive YA book. Then we're going to look into nerdy books, science fiction and fantasy. We're going to look at scary books, not just like horror, but also like real life books that have sort of deep and scary stuff in them. Then we're going to look at sexy books, which again, romance, but books also that deal with gender and sexuality. And then nutritious, what I call nutritious books, historical fiction, but books that align nicely with curriculum. And then finally, we're going to look at what's popular right now, what teens like in general. So the way that my 6 weeks goes is there are essentially three different types of assignments that you have. So the first is you're going to do a blog, and your blog is really simple. You're going to go someplace that has books. It can be the internet, but I'd also like you to touch some books. So the teen room of your public library, a brick and mortar bookstore, someplace where you can just really go and see what the book's like, see how they feel to somebody who's picking them up. It's not the only format that we want our kids to use. Obviously, audiobooks, ebooks are a big deal, but I don't know, there's something about it. So you're going to choose three books and you're going to do a little annotation. The annotation is super simple. It's basically give me the title, the author, a one-sentence plot summary, where you found the book and why you chose it to be highlighted. You don't have to read these books. This is just really a chance for you to browse what's there. So the blog is a weekly thing, and if you've taken a class with me before, you can just repurpose that old blog from the last time. Then the other piece is the discussion. And again, those of you who had me before, you know the drill. You have to post in the discussion board 3 times. You don't have to have a big post. They can all be responses if you want, but it has to be within that week. And that is the only assignment that absolutely cannot be handed in late. You can do it early. I'm going to try to have all my work set up before the section even starts. You can go in as early as you like, but you can't post late. And then there's your weekly assignment. There are 6 different types of assignments. One is, and you're going to read. So each, oh, I didn't tell them the hard
Oh,
part.
right. You have to read
You
books.
have to read books.
Yeah.
So for the YA section, you are reading a book a week. Now it can be a lot, so you might want to start early. It's a lot of reading, but that's going to be, other than browsing for your blog and the discussion, it's really the assignments for the books for the reading are pretty easy. And there's the discussion is twofold. There's going to be your content discussion where you all talk together, and then there's going to be a book club where everyone else who's read the same book as you'll have a choice of, depending on how many of you are, a certain number of titles. And I'll assign you to one of the you get to choose, but I'll assign you to at least your first or second choice, hopefully for everything. And then based on that book, you're going to do an assignment. They're not a hugely heavy lift. The most difficult one is probably the literary criticism. That's a 3 to 5 page paper, looking at the book as a work of literature, as if you were an English major, just, spewing the BS far and wide. But it's to show that these books are worthy of respect and can be deconstructed in that way. There's going to be specific instructions in the rubric. Then there's an audiovisual component. You can make a book trailer, you can make a TikTok, you can do a little review, but it's got to be something audio or video. And then a curriculum connection. You need to take whatever book you read that week and tie it to the curriculum. I don't know if you have to do a specific lesson plan, but you're going to have to look at the standards. You're going to have to find a way to integrate that into curriculum. Then my favorite, visual representation. You have to make art, create a PowerPoint, choreograph an interpretive dance, draw a comic,
Dance.
make a digital poster, some way of making a visual representation, maximum of 30 words, fewer than 30 words to show and this is a really fun one. I've seen some great things. Depending on your attitude about generative AI, you can certainly use AI. I just want to see your prompts. All right. And then, so those are the 4 types of things that you are required to do. If you come up with a different way to, represent it, that's fine. But the other 2 things are one week you have to do a group or partner project, and it doesn't matter which type of assignment you do. It's just you have to do a group or partner project, and it should be one of the first 5 weeks, because the 6th week, well, anyway, you'll find out about that when we get there. So one of those first 5 weeks needs to be a group or partner project. So make sure you set that up as soon as you find out what books you'll be reading, and I will have that information out to you by January 1st, by June 1st. And then the 6th one is your bye week. That's the week that you just read the book, you do the discussion, but you don't have to do any projects. So save that for the week that you're on the Cape or whatever you're doing.
Yes. And you get a bye week in my section too. I just totally forgot to say it.
Yeah. So that way you're able to choose for yourself when you need a little bit lighter lift for that week. I think, did I miss anything?
Final
Final
project.
Final answer? Oh yeah,
Final
final project. I got one of those too. It is basically you're going to be putting together some programming for something that will promote reading for teenagers. And there's going to be plenty of every week I'll give you an article that you can peruse to see a different type of thing that you might want to do. I have the only required reading in my section is your YA work, but I will also be giving you a lot of a lot of articles and stuff like that. Don't get scared. If you're a really fast reader or if you just want them as reference, that's fine, but they're there for your benefit, not for mine.
Yeah. And I forgot. So I have an optional textbook that has some chapters that talk about evaluating children's literature. I think it's pretty fantastic, but it is not required. I also post videos and other media to let you not always have to read about literature every week. So I think that's it.
Yeah, and we'll do videos like this, not together,
No,
by ourselves.
Summer we go our different ways.
But you'll get a video every week that will catch you up on what's necessary. Everything's always written out as far as what's required of you. Please do read carefully, because we're all human, and sometimes things
Yeah.
just don't always make sense the first time around.
And you can reach us through email. For me, during the summer, the fastest way is to message me through Canvas because I am in it at all times.
Samesies.
So that's the fastest way, and we're always here to help you.
Yep. All right.
Bye.
Have a great spring. See you in the summer. Oh, we haven't ended yet.